Good morning, guys. Good morning. It's a bit gusty here in Hawaii, so excuse the wind. I'll try to speak a little louder. But in this particular video, I want to talk about the sense of urgency with Jehovah's Witnesses. Where is it? Where is the sense of urgency that they had? This zeal. You know, back in the day, growing up as a witness in the 80s and 90s, right? They will always talk about paradise. Oh, I can't wait to own a lion in paradise. I can't wait to not know how it feels to not suffer with chronic pain, with depression, with anxiety, with cancer, with diabetes. All these so-called friends back in the day, they would talk about the paradise. Because paradise was more real, right? Let's be real. Let's have a heart-to-heart, heart-to-heart conversation here. Paradise was way more real back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s. People spoke about what they want to do, who they want to be, how tall they want to be, how great they want to be in paradise, how they're going to be fit, never grow old. People spoke about things that they wanted to do in paradise back in the 80s and 90s, growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. Now, these days, do you guys really hear people talking about, oh, I can't wait to paradise because I could do this, I could do that in paradise? These present days, a lot of witnesses don't really talk about paradise. Yet they will claim that, it's right around the corner. They've been saying that for how long now? How long have Jehovah's Witnesses been talking about paradise being right around the corner, right? So when you look at the organization for what it is right now, you'll see that the governing body leaders are doing a really good job at making the rank and file Jehovah's Witnesses comfortable. Because the governing body leaders, they know that this is a scam. They know that paradise ain't coming. This is a publishing company disguised as a religion. So to keep people distracted, the governing body leaders have to keep people distracted, right? They have to keep people distracted because they know, like I said, paradise is not coming. And they know that Jehovah's Witnesses are getting a little antsy. You can only tell people that the end is coming but so many times. you can only tell people that it's right around the corner but so many times up until the point where they get fed up, right? So where is this sense of urgency with witnesses? I see a lot of witnesses, they look so miserable standing in front of the carts. And the only people they're engaging with, the only people they're conversating with is other witnesses. But I don't see a strong sense of urgency when it comes to witnesses. I don't see the zeal. I don't see that paradise, oh, I can't wait to make it a paradise spirit. I don't see that with these witnesses in modern times. And, like I was speaking in my last video, how witnesses, it seems like they are on autopilot these days. It's just a habit. It's a routine for them. It's not coming from their heart. They're standing in front of carts, but do they really want to engage with people? And when people do engage with them, what do? Oh, yeah, you got any questions? Well, just go to jw.org. jw.org will answer all your questions. But other than that, we don't like to engage or conversate with people. Where is the sense of urgency when it comes to Jehovah's Witnesses? You see, this is why it's important to always be aware of what you're doing in life. Because that autopilot, people stay on an autopilot for years, for decades. Jehovah's Witnesses, they are running on autopilot right now. Whenever you live a lifestyle where there's no critical thinking involved, you just do because your leaders, and mind you, they're not even inspired by God. It's like I wake up sometimes, I'm scratching my head like, am I really being shunned because I am thinking critically? I am doing, you know what's funny with witnesses? They do things that are, I made a video about this last week, how they do things that are extremely bizarre and weird, and they pretty much get rewarded for doing the wrong things. And what I mean by that, right? Instead of focusing on this, what's the urgency of paradise, right? Paradise should be every Jehovah's Witness focus. Paradise, they've been speaking about paradise for over 140 years, and yet paradise is still not here. So where is the sense of urgency? Paradise should be your focus. But witnesses, like I said, most of them, they don't speak about paradise. They speak about what they have planned for next week or next month, or a cruise that they want to go to next year. But most witnesses don't really speak paradise into existence. Because I feel like deep down, a lot of people may know that they may have doubts that, you know what, this might not be the truth, but I have so many people in this community, my family, my friends that I've grown up with, they're in this community. So I may not believe that paradise is the real deal, but I love my family and friends. I don't want to lose them. But when you think about it, if this was urgent, right? The Jehovah's Witnesses really believe that a paradise was going to come, and the Armageddon, the Great Tribulation, all that was going to happen, right? They would be out in the streets. Hey, guys, we want to gather everybody's attention. There's a new world coming. There's a paradise coming. We want to gather everybody's attention because that paradise is going to come soon. We love you guys. Please do your research. Please get to know Jehovah. Like that's the type of noise I want to hear. If you're talking about God is going to destroy and wipe out 99.9% of Earth's population. That's the noise I want to hear. That's the type of urgency I want to hear if you talk about the end of times, right? But, Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't do that. There is no urgency when they're standing in front of their carts. I think I said this in one of my videos a few weeks back, but I was in downtown Honolulu a few weeks ago, and I never saw this before. I saw this brother standing in front of a cart, and he had an AirPod in one of his ears. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, whoa, what is he listening to? Jay-Z, Nas, Tupac, Lil Wayne, Chris Brown? Like, what is he listening to while he's standing in front of this cart? That's how bored these people are. That's how bored these witnesses are, is that they can't even stand in front of a cart without being distracted. Now, one of the last conventions that I went to, right? I went to the International Convention in Houston in 2019. But before that, I went to an international in 2014. Right? And it was in Australia. One of my friends got baptized. One of my former friends got baptized. And I remember how, I saw some other friends there at that convention, and they were like bringing snacks. It had candy, fruits, candies, lollies. And I was like, whoa, you guys got enough snacks? Like, we going to the movies, or are we going to the convention? Like, what's going on? What's up with the candy? And it's like, yeah, we need this. We need candy to help us stay awake. And in the back of my mind, I was like, wow, you need candy to stay awake during a convention or assembly that's supposed to be urgent? Like, these are important meetings, supposedly for witnesses, right? Supposedly, these conventions and assemblies are important. Now, if something is urgent, right, you're going to be attentive. You need lollies and popcorn and candy to stay awake during an event, during a convention and assemblies? If something is urgent, you should be attentive without any sugar to keep you awake. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Jehovah's Witnesses are running on autopilot right now, because deep down inside, right? Deep down inside, every Jehovah's Witness knows that paradise should have been here by now. Paradise should have been here by now. You can lie to yourself all you want. Oh, Jehovah, he's making room for more people to come to get to know him before paradise comes, and that's why he's prolonging paradise. You could come up with all the excuses that you want in the world. But deep down inside, every Jehovah's Witness knows that paradise should have been here. It should have been here. You got brothers and sisters talking about, I've been a faithful servant for over 40 years waiting. Huh? Wait, come again? For how long? For over 40 years? I thought we was right around, I thought the end was right around the corner. That is the longest corner I've seen in my effing life, freaking life. 40 years? You've been a faithful servant for 40 years? So that means that the last 40 years, you've been patiently waiting. You've been on the watch, right? You've been patiently waiting on the watch, waiting for paradise. You've been putting your life on hold. Your personal dreams, everything you wanted to do, you put that on hold for this paradise that they've been speaking about, knocking on people's doors back in the 90s and the early 2000s, right? And now they went from knocking on people's doors back in the 90s and early 2000s to now standing in front of a cart and to throw in something else in the mix. Now a governing body leader mentioned that, oh, anyone could wait and see the signs at the very last minute and join and be saved at the very last minute. Anybody could. So if my question to Jehovah's Witnesses is, if anyone could wait the very last minute, if anyone could see the signs the very last minute, then then where's the urgency now? You see, all this time in the 90s, the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, they have been telling people to be on the watch any day now. Jehovah's Witnesses were growing up with anxiety. I had anxiety growing up because they kept telling us to be on the watch, be urgent, be present any day now. It's right around the corner. All this time, people could have been living their lives. And it's like, now I feel like that's why Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm talking about people who are like 30, over 30 and up, right? That's why they don't have their sense of urgency is kind of dwindling down. They're not so urgent anymore, because we went through COVID, we went through 9/11, my era of people, 30 and up, 9/11, COVID, wars. We're going through all this nonsense, and it's like, okay, Jehovah's Witnesses are waiting. Every time something tragic happens, deep down inside, the Jehovah's Witnesses is like, yes. 9/11, yes. COVID, yes. That means we're getting closer and closer to the end. So when something tragic happens and paradise doesn't come, Jehovah's Witnesses start to lose their sense of urgency. That's why they are on autopilot. But deep down inside, they know they're getting tired of going to the meetings. They're getting tired of standing in front of a cart when they know damn well that when they're standing in front of a cart, no one is going to approach them. They know deep down inside that preaching is a waste of time. Over 90% of witnesses have not brought someone in the organization. So that tells you that the preaching work is not effective. Not effective. The majority of witnesses are people who are already born in. Like I said, they are starting to lose their sense of urgency, because you can only tell people paradise is right around the corner for but so long. But like I said in my last video, no Jehovah's Witness should have to die. You shouldn't have to be born and raised your entire life. You don't question a religion. You don't research your religion. You just blindly believe until the day you grow old and die. What kind of life is that, guys? What kind of life is that? Anyway, guys, if you're a Jehovah's Witness watching this video, please listen to everything that I'm saying. I come from a good place. I don't want no one to waste their life waiting for a pipe dream when you have one life. The one life that we have is right here, right now. We don't know what's going to happen after this, after death, after we leave this earth. We don't know what's going to happen, but all we know is that we have this time on this planet right here, right now. Live in the present. There's a reason why the governing body leaders, once again, there's a reason why they are starting to be a bit complacent with their rules and regulations and their doctrines. There's a reason, because they know that witnesses are starting to get weary. They're starting to tire out. So now, let's make things more comfortable for witnesses. Let's let men have their facial hair. Let's let women wear pants. Let's let people say a nice small greeting to those that were removed. Let's make things a little easier for the witnesses so that they don't start to do research, so that they don't start to have doubts. Let's keep that carrot dwindling, the carrot of paradise earth dwindling right in front of their eyes until the day they die. Until the day witnesses die, they will have that false hope, always waiting, always lurking for paradise. When paradise is right here. I mean that literally and figuratively. But paradise is right here, guys. It's the one life that we have. Anywho, guys, I love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next video.